Facebook just shipped something that should have shipped 2 years ago, AI photo editing and question answering assistants. But the truly shocking part, this is now the pattern. Google released AI photo editing months ago. Apple integrated photo computation into every iPhone. Microsoft baked AI into Windows and Office. Meta arrives at the party and brings last season's trends. This matters because Meta isn't some startup learning the ropes. They've got 3 billion users worldwide. They have access to more user data than any company on Earth. Their computing infrastructure is genuinely world-class. They've invested billions into AI research. Yet in every major AI moment this past year, they've been 6 months behind. Think of it like this: Meta is a chess grandmaster playing a game where everyone sees their moves before they happen. They're powerful, but they're not setting the pace anymore. Someone else is. The question isn't what these tools do or how good they are. The real question is why. Why is a company with Meta's resources consistently arriving late to every AI milestone? The answer reveals something uncomfortable about where their AI strategy actually stands. And here's where it becomes really interesting. Meta's stumble tells us something crucial about how the entire AI industry is changing and which companies are actually winning. So how did Meta end up chasing instead of leading? The answer is complicated, but it starts with a choice they made years ago. Meta bet everything on the metaverse. They spent billions, and I mean tens of billions, on virtual reality research and development, while other companies were quietly building AI. When advanced AI arrived, the industry pivoted overnight. Everyone suddenly realized that large language models were the foundation everything else would be built. Google had one, OpenAI had one, Anthropic was building one, but Meta's large language model, called Llama, was years behind in capability, and it took them months to catch up. Meanwhile, generative AI moved fast. Photo editing AI emerged. Question answering improved dramatically. Voice synthesis got unnervingly good. And Meta was still rebuilding their AI stack while the train left the station. There's also the talent problem. Meta lost key AI researchers to startups like Anthropic and Mistral. The company's reputation took hits from various controversies, making it harder to attract the best minds. When you're trying to lead in AI, losing talent to competitors is like a sports team losing star players mid-season. By the time Meta really refocused on AI, the landscape had already shifted. Google had integrated AI into everything. Apple built computational photography into the iPhone. Microsoft partnered with OpenAI and embedded AI everywhere. And Meta had to play catch-up on all fronts simultaneously. So what exactly are these new tools? Let's break it down. First, there's AI photo editing. Facebook is essentially giving users a generative AI tool built right into their app, kind of like Adobe's Generative Fill or Photoshop's AI Eraser. You can remove objects from photos, change backgrounds, adjust lighting, or even regenerate parts of an image entirely. It's genuinely useful, and for the average user just wanting to touch up a holiday photo, it's more than good enough. The second tool is a question-answering AI assistant. Imagine you're scrolling Facebook, you see an article about something you don't understand, and you can just ask the AI to explain it to you. That's basically the feature. It's similar to what Google's doing with Search Generative Experience or what Microsoft's building into Windows. Here's the thing, both of these tools are technically solid. The photo editing uses the kind of diffusion models that power tools like Midjourney and Stable Diffusion. The question answering uses the latest in large language model technology. From a pure technical standpoint, Meta's engineers clearly know what they are doing. But, and this is crucial, none of this is particularly innovative. Photo editing AI has existed for over a year. AI question answering has been around even longer. Meta's not breaking new ground here. They're implementing what's already proven to work, what's already popular, what other companies have already validated. They're being smart about it, sure, but they are following a playbook written by someone else. Let's say you're a content creator on Facebook. You've got a photo with a terrible background, a messy bedroom wall or cluttered shelf. The AI photo editing tool lets you describe what you want. Beach sunset background or coffee shop setting. The AI generates it in seconds. Then you post it knowing it looks professional. For question answering, imagine scrolling and seeing an article about how neural networks work. Always confusing, always skipped. You ask the assistant to explain it simply, without jargon. It breaks it down into plain English immediately. These tools have immediate practical value. Creators get better-looking posts faster. Regular users understand complex topics without leaving Facebook. It's genuinely convenient. The photo editing is particularly powerful because it democratizes design. You don't need Photoshop anymore. You don't need design skills. You describe what you want and the AI handles the technical work. That's transformative for people who have never considered themselves creative. But here's what matters. These tools keep users on Facebook longer. They make the platform more useful, more entertaining, more integrated into how people create and consume content. That's the real game Meta is playing. The convenience is the hook, but the longer time spent is the goal. And that's where this feature announcement becomes important, not just as a technology update, but as a business strategy. So how do Meta's new tools compare to Google's Magic Editor, Apple's computational photography, or Microsoft's AI integration? Honestly, they're roughly equivalent. Meta's photo editing matches Google's. The question answering is competitive with ChatGPT or Gemini, but roughly equivalent isn't a compliment in AI. It means Meta is following, not leading. They are matching what already exists rather than creating something new. Google's Magic Editor launched over a year ago. Apple's computational photography has evolved with every iPhone release. Microsoft integrated AI so deeply into Windows and Office that it's becoming your default interface. Meta is now launching tools that match what already exists. From a competitive standpoint, this is actually a problem. In a market moving at lightning speed, being 6 months behind on every feature means you're always competing on equal ground instead of setting the agenda. Think of it this way, being the company that invents a new sport is completely different from being the company that plays it well. Both can succeed, but only one writes the rules. Right now, Meta is learning to play a game that Google, Apple, and OpenAI invented. This doesn't mean Meta's tools are bad. It means they're a follower's move, not a leader's. And in AI, followers don't get to set the direction of the industry. Here's what Meta's announcement actually reveals about the future of AI. First, generative AI features are now table stakes for any major platform. Every major tech company needs photo editing, question answering, content summarization, and generation built in. If you don't have these features, you're falling behind your competitors. Second, the real competition isn't about having AI, it's about integrating AI seamlessly into what people already do. Google didn't win by building Bard, a separate chatbot you have to visit. They're winning by embedding AI directly into Google search itself, where billions of people already go every single day. Meta clearly understands this. They're putting these new tools directly into Facebook, where hundreds of millions already spend hours daily. That's strategically smart, even if it's not technologically innovative. Third, this reveals something uncomfortable about Meta's position. They're no longer the trendsetter, they are the responder. In an industry moving this fast, being a responder instead of a leader puts you at a serious disadvantage. For everyday users, the takeaway is this: AI features will appear everywhere, all the time. Not always because they are revolutionary in each context, but because every tech company needs them to appear relevant and cutting edge. The bigger question is whether Meta can regain leadership, or whether they are destined to always chase whoever moves fastest. If you're a Facebook user and you want to try these tools, here's how to access them. The photo editing feature rolls out gradually. You might not see it immediately if you're not part of the initial rollout. When it's available, look for an Edit with AI button in your photo upload screen. Click that, describe the changes you want, and let the AI do the work. You can regenerate results until you get something you like. For the question-answering assistant, it's even simpler. When you're scrolling and see an article or a post you don't fully understand, look for an Ask AI or similar button. Click it, let the AI read the content, and ask your question. It'll explain in plain language without the jargon. Here's what you should know: these tools work best when you're specific about what you want. Instead of saying make it prettier, say add a sunset background and make it look like a beach vacation. The AI responds better to detailed requests. Also, be aware that these are AI-generated results. They're extremely good, but they're not perfect. You might occasionally see artifacts or weird results. That's normal. Just regenerate until you get what you want. One more thing, these features only work on Facebook for now. Instagram will likely get them eventually since Meta owns Instagram, but they're not rolling out everywhere simultaneously. So what's the real story here? Meta announced two solid but unoriginal AI features. That's not the headline. The real headline is that Meta, a company that should be leading, is playing catch-up. Here's what to watch for going forward. First, how quickly does Meta integrate these tools into Instagram and WhatsApp? If they work seamlessly across their platforms, they might create something competitors can't easily replicate. The network effect matters. Second, what's their next announcement? Another Me Too feature confirms they are stuck in catch-up mode. But a genuinely new feature, one competitors will then copy, means they are finding their way back to leadership. Third, does the user experience matter more than who invented it first? Meta is betting it does. A flawless, perfectly integrated feature might beat a technically first, but clunky one. For now, if you're on Facebook regularly, try these tools. They are useful and well integrated. But don't get excited about the features themselves. Get interested in what they reveal. This announcement shows where AI is heading, toward becoming universal, deeply integrated into every platform, and stratified between leaders and followers. Meta used to be the leader setting the pace for everyone else. Now they're the followers trying to catch up. And that's a problem for a company that built its entire empire on being first. Follow for daily AI news to see how this competition unfolds.